In an unexpected twist in the 2025 Formula One driver market, rumors are swirling that George Russell might leave Mercedes and join Aston Martin. This is quite surprising since Russell was seen as the chosen successor to Lewis Hamilton, expected to be the face of Mercedes after Hamilton's era. Now, chatter is growing that Mercedes could be ready to let him go. But what's behind this? And where does Max Verstappen fit in all of this? Russell's current deal with Mercedes expires at the end of the year, and as 2025 nears its close, no official contract extension has been announced. Publicly, both Russell and Mercedes team principal Toto Wolff say they're on the same page, but the lack of a signed deal hints that things might not be as simple behind the scenes. Meanwhile, Aston Martin is reportedly very keen to sign Russell for 2026 and beyond. On paper, this might look like a sideways move or even a step down, but Aston Martin today is far from the team it was a few years ago. With a new works partnership, with Honda starting next year and technical guidance from Adrian Newey, arguably the best car designer in F1 history, the Silverstone-based team is quietly preparing for a major leap forward. For Aston Martin, the driver lineup is a key focus. Lance Stroll's spot is secured for the long term, given his father owns the team, but Fernando Alonso is getting older. At 44, questions arise about how many more seasons Alonso will compete, especially with new rules coming in 2026. Bringing Russell in would bring fresh energy and proven winning ability, sending a strong message that Aston Martin is serious about competing at the front. What makes this situation even more interesting is the talk that Aston Martin isn't just interested in Russell alone. There are whispers about Max Verstappen as well. Toto Wolff, the Mercedes boss, has openly expressed respect for Verstappen, even after the heated on-track clash between Verstappen and Russell at the Spanish Grand Prix. Wolff's reaction was unusual for a team principal defending his own driver. He stayed neutral and even seemed to understand Verstappen's side. When asked about Verstappen's aggressive driving incident in Barcelona, Wolff gave a puzzling reply. He wondered if Verstappen's goal was to let Russell pass and then immediately overtake him again, comparing it to the old DRS tactics, which made little sense to him. Wolff didn't blame Verstappen directly, suggesting the Dutchman may have had his reasons. This raises a key question. Is Mercedes shifting its focus? If Wolff views Verstappen as central to the team's 2026 plan, then allowing Russell to explore other options might not just be acceptable, but part of a larger strategy. Meanwhile, Aston Martin might be planning something bold. There are rumors of a massive $300 million offer from them to Verstappen earlier this year. Although the team officially denied this, their statement was careful not to close the door on such possibilities. In Formula One, contracts mean little when a team is willing to back up their ambitions with huge financial resources. With Newey on board, Honda coming in as an engine partner, and a quiet but serious push behind the scenes, Aston Martin looks like it's preparing for a serious challenge starting in 2026. The rumors aren't just media noise either. George Russell was spotted having serious talks with McLaren's top management, Zak Brown and Andrea Stella, during the Australian Grand Prix weekend, even though both Lando Norris and Oscar Piastri have long-term contracts with McLaren. Whether it's coincidence or not, it adds fuel to the speculation. Then in China, Russell was seen chatting warmly with Flavio Briatore, who is now advising Alpine. Soon after, reports emerged of a conversation between Russell and Christian Horner, the Red Bull team principal. Horner praised Russell, saying it would be foolish to overlook his talent. All this points to one thing. Russell is actively considering his future, and his position at Mercedes seems uncertain at best. It might even be slipping away. You can't talk about Aston Martin's potential without mentioning Adrian Newey. After his exit from Red Bull, his choice to join Aston Martin as managing technical partner sent shockwaves through the paddock. His presence at the Monaco GP, where he closely inspected the leading McLaren car, wasn't just a casual visit. It was a clear signal. If Russell wants to be part of a technical revolution under Newey's leadership, Aston Martin might be his best chance, maybe even the only real opportunity to claim a world championship once the Mercedes era fades. Things get even more intense when you consider what could happen if Aston Martin manages to sign both George Russell and Max Verstappen. That pairing could become one of the most explosive in recent F1 history, rivaling famous rivalries like Hamilton versus Rosberg or Prost versus Senna. The mix of talent and contrasting personalities promises plenty of drama. Russell and Verstappen aren't exactly close friends. Their recent clashes on track have shown they race fiercely and speak openly without backing down. Putting them together in the same team would be like lighting a fuse. Team meetings could feel more like a battle of wills. On paper, this duo would be almost unbeatable, but in reality, it could either push Aston Martin to heights they've never reached before or lead to a spectacular collapse under pressure. Either way, fans would get to witness high-stakes drama every race weekend. So, what does this mean for Mercedes? That part remains unclear. Despite everything, Mercedes is reportedly ahead in developing their 2026 engine, similar to how they dominated when the turbo-hybrid era began in 2014. Letting a top driver like Russell go would make little sense unless they already have someone else lined up, and again, all signs point to Verstappen. If Wolff can bring the reigning champion to Mercedes, it would mark a huge transformation for the team and explain their calm attitude about Russell's uncertain future. Whether George Russell stays with Mercedes or makes a big move to Aston Martin, one thing is clear. 2026 is shaping up to be one of the most unpredictable seasons in recent Formula One history. The upcoming regulation changes mean everything could shift dramatically. When major rule changes hit F1, history shows no team, even the leaders, can take success for granted. What worked well last season might fall apart, while teams that struggled before could come back stronger than ever. Two teams stand out as most likely to see big changes: Red Bull and Aston Martin. Although Red Bull has been dominant recently, the new engine rules might challenge them, especially with Honda leaving and Ford stepping in. On the other hand, Aston Martin, with a fresh Honda partnership and the genius of Adrian Newey, is expected to make a significant leap forward. 2026 could be the year they finally challenge at the very front or risk failing in the attempt. If Aston Martin signs either Russell or Verstappen, it would be a major shift. But if they land both drivers, Formula One could enter a new era filled with fierce rivalries, controversies, and thrilling battles that fans will remember for years. Now, the big question: should Russell remain loyal to Mercedes where he's been, growing and proving himself, or take a chance on Aston Martin's promising project? The answer isn't simple. Staying means stability and continuing with a top team, but switching could offer new opportunities, especially with the technical leadership of Adrian Newey and the upcoming Honda partnership. And if Verstappen joins Aston Martin too, how will that impact the team dynamics? Will the two top drivers get along and work together smoothly, or will their competitive spirits create tension and conflicts? This potential rivalry could bring excitement, but also challenges behind the scenes. For fans and experts alike, these possible changes add another layer of intrigue to the sport. With driver moves, team strategies, and technical updates all in play, the next few seasons promise a roller coaster ride. We'll have to wait and see how it all unfolds, but one thing is certain: Formula One is heading into a period full of surprises, drama, and unforgettable moments. As the 2025 season wraps up, all eyes are on how these driver moves and team strategies will reshape the sport. Whether George Russell signs a new deal with Mercedes or takes a bold step toward Aston Martin, the impact will be huge. Similarly, if Max Verstappen switches teams, it could rewrite the balance of power in Formula One. One thing is clear: the coming years won't be business as usual. With new rules, fresh partnerships, and a reshuffled driver lineup, the sport is set for a major shakeup. Teams that adapt quickly will rise, while others may face unexpected struggles. For fans, this means more excitement, drama, and fierce competition every race weekend. The stage is set for thrilling battles, surprises, and stories that will be talked about for a long time. So keep watching closely because the next chapter in Formula One history is just beginning, and it promises to be unforgettable.